Keep Reading, your channel for great book recommendations.
Hello readers, it's brilliant to see you all again, and thanks so much for tuning in and for watching my channel. I'm Reuben Hepplethwaite, and welcome back to Keep Reading, your channel for great book recommendations. Now this week I'm going to tell you all about my 6 favourite self-help books, or as I like to call them, self-improvement books. Here they are. So I know you're probably thinking he's only got 5 books there, and yes, that's true, because one of them is an audiobook. And there it is. Can you see that? Good self-improvement books are great because I think we all need a little help to understand ourselves, to solve personal issues, constantly improve ourselves and look after our well-being and our mental health, particularly after the year that we've all had. And these books, they're my personal favourites. And over the years I've found that some self-help books aren't that good actually, and it can be a bit of a waste of time, as the author doesn't really tell you anything you didn't already know. They take a whole book just to say what was written in the title and the subtitle on the front cover. Whereas these books are different, they're not like that. And if you read them, hopefully you'll enjoy them as much as I did, and they will be able to assist you with your own self-improvement, which we should all be striving for. Be sure to watch right till the end of the video, as I'm saving my absolute favourite self-improvement book until last. So, to kick things off, I'm going to start with this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, the author of this book, he introduces a simple system to get 1% better every day. And he says it's all about tiny changes to your life that can produce remarkable results. What I absolutely loved about this book was that the things that he suggests seem so achievable. And I think that's the key to the book, really. Most people think big when they want to change their life, but habits expert James Clear explains that real change is achieved from the compound effect of many small changes to your routine, which he calls atomic habits. Atomic meaning both an extremely small amount of a thing or the source of immense energy and power. And James Clear, he sets out how to build better habits centred around the 4 laws of behaviour change and building good habits, which are 1, make it obvious, 2, make it attractive, 3, make it easy, and 4, make it satisfying. Now this goes along with the opposite of these laws to break any bad habits that you might have. This book also contains simple life hacks like the forgotten art of habit stacking. That is introducing new habits on top of the habits that you already have. Like if you have a cup of coffee every day at 7 a.m, which is the existing habit, then meditate for 5 minutes afterwards, which could be the new habit. For those of you with children, I found that this book gave me some really great ideas actually on how to introduce positive habits into their daily routines. And I introduced quite a few good routines from both of my teenage sons, which actually worked. The book also tells the inspiring stories of Olympic gold medalists, leading CEOs and distinguished scientists that have used the science of tiny habits to stay productive, motivated and happy. The second book is Steal Like an Artist by Kleon. Now this is a beautiful, brilliant little book, and it was also a New York Times bestseller. The author is also an artist, and his aim in the book is to help the reader to unlock their creativity, which we all need, whichever walk of life we come from. The book is divided into 10 sections. Each section is a key principle or pearl of wisdom, and something that nobody has ever told you before about being creative. From the inside cover, Kleon says, "Nothing is original, so embrace influence, school yourself through the work of others, remix and reimagine to discover your own path. Follow interests wherever they take you. Whatever feels like a hobby may turn into your life's work. Forget the old cliche about writing what you know. Instead, write the book you want to read. Make the movie you want to watch. What is great about this little book is that it applies to anyone who wants to inject some creativity into their life and their work, which should be all of us, right? So get a copy of this book. Trust me, you won't regret it. My third selection is a controversial book written by the popular blogger Mark Manson. The book was a #1 international bestseller a couple of years ago and has a provocative title. And here it is. So let's just call it The Subtle Art. As you can imagine, there's quite a bit of profanity in the book, but if you get past that, the book is an absolute gem and is a very original self-help book that Mark Manson labels as a counterintuitive approach to living a good life. What's quite refreshing is that Manson is unflinchingly honest about today's culture being obsessively focused on unrealistic positive expectations. This, he argues, is a constant reminder of what we lack or what we are not, and that people care too much about everything. The problem is that caring about too many things is bad for your mental health. And he urges the reader to care about less and only to care about things that are true, immediate, and important. In this book, he also explains that most of us struggle through life devoting time and energy in situations where it doesn't deserve it. And he guides you to focus your thoughts effectively, to pick and choose what matters to you, which is a subtle art, hence the title. The next book on my list is an audiobook, and it's only available as an audiobook, and when you listen to it, you'll understand why. It's a really inspirational and motivational self-improvement book from what for me was an unexpected source. My son is a big fan of Kevin Hart, and he told me that he brought out an audiobook called The Decision. And here it is. And he asked me if he could download it and download it to our shared audiobook platform for him to listen to. The subtitle of the book is Overcoming Today's BS for Tomorrow's Success. So I thought, yeah, sounds good. Let's give it a go. My son listened to it in a few days and he said, "Dad, this is brilliant. You've got to listen to this." So when I'd finished the book that I was reading, I gave it a go and I wasn't disappointed. The Decision is original, smart, very positive, and doesn't pull any punches. Kevin Hart takes on the role of life coach and shares the tools, rules, and practical steps that he's developed to elevate his own life and to reach his goals. The aim of the book is to get you mentally fit, and it's what he calls a boot camp, and that's getting you mentally fit to face all of the challenges that life throws at you. In the beginning, I thought, hey, Kevin, your voice is probably going to grate on me a bit, but I got used to it, and after a while, it wasn't so bad. In fact, it was hilarious. Also, there's a fair bit of profanity, I suppose, in the book, but if you can live with that, this audiobook is brilliant, and it's a real sort of treasure trove of insightful, potentially life-changing advice. As I said, it's also extremely funny and very original. My favourite Kevin Hartisms were cowboying up, eye on the priziness, teddy bearing, and put up withness. To find out what they all mean, you'll have to listen to this book, which I would highly recommend that you do. My penultimate selection is this book, Happiness by Design, written by Paul Dolan, who is a professor of behavioural science at the London School of Economics and also a government wellbeing advisor. It's a very original and illuminating book and uses the latest in cutting-edge research. And through this, Dolan reveals that well-being isn't about how we think, it's about what we do. He says that by making deliberate choices that bring us both pleasure and meaning, we can redesign our lives for maximum happiness without thinking too hard about it. One of the central themes of the book is the pleasure-purpose principle. And Dolan explains and coaches you how to find the balance of pleasure and purpose that will work best for you. What I absolutely loved about this book was that, unlike other books on happiness, the author doesn't simply try to tell you which inputs, such as income, work, marital status, age, religiosity, and so on, are correlated with the output of happiness. Dolan instead, he explains that in fact happiness depends more on how we allocate or misallocate our precious attention to those things. This is a bold and original book, and if you're going to read only one book about happiness, make it this one. So on to the last book, and one of my favourite books of all time. It's Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Now, this book was written by the only Roman emperor who was also a philosopher, and he was known as one of the Stoics, who were known for teaching that virtue is the only good, and a way of thinking to remain calm and steadfast in the face of adversity. The book is set out as a series of the emperor's personal writings and private thoughts, and was written from 161 to 180 AD, 1,840 years ago. Marcus Aurelius, he wrote Meditations without any intention of publication, but it offers remarkable reflections and exercises developed as he struggled to understand himself and make sense of the universe. The meditations in the book are reminders designed to make him humble, patient, empathetic, generous, and strong in the face of whatever he had to deal with. I personally find that the Stoic practices laid out in Meditations to manage stress are as relevant and effective today as they were when Marcus Aurelius wrote them in his tent, planning military campaigns on the edge of the Roman Empire nearly 2,000 years ago. You simply can't read this book and not come away with a phrase or a line that will be helpful to you next time that you're in a difficult situation. One of my favourite meditations is from Book 7 and meditation number 71, and it reads, "It is ridiculous not to escape from one's own vices, which is possible, while trying to escape the vices of others, which is impossible." Or in other words, don't try to escape other people's faults, because you can't. Just concentrate on escaping your own. So that's my 6 favourite self-improvement books done, or 5 books and 1 audiobook. And I hope that you read or listen to them and you find them to be helpful. You can subscribe to my channel today for more great book recommendations by clicking the link in the description at the bottom of the video. Also, don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you like the video and to share it with all of your friends. I'll see you again soon, but in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive, and keep reading.